Julia Klöckner, the
Die unterbrochene Sitzung ist wieder
The
eröffnet und ich
session
gebe
is
das Ergebnis
resumed,
der Wahl
and I would
bekannt.
like to announce the results of voting. 630 members, 621 votes cast, invalid votes 1, votes in favor 310 of MPs, the votes against 307, abstentions 3. Friedrich Merz did not reach the necessary majority, 316. According to Article 63 of the Basic Law, he has not been elected Federal Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany. The session will be interrupted. I would like to ask the parliamentary groups to deliberate, and I will allow a gong to be sounded when we are ready to resume.
Another political earthquake rocks Europe for the first time ever. The winner of the parliamentary election and presumed chancellor of Germany has failed to secure enough parliamentary votes to assume office. This is absolutely astonishing. Friedrich Merz, the leader of the CDU party, Angela Merkel's former party, they're basically Germany's version of the neocons, the Mitt Romneys of Berlin, as it were. Well, Merz helped to lead his party to victory in their last parliamentary elections in February, but they failed to win an outright majority, and that is because of the massive surge in popularity of the one and only AfD, the Alternative for Deutschland, who are Germany's Patriot Party, their MAGA party. They surged into second place by winning the whole of Eastern Germany, where they're by far the number one most popular party. So you would think, with the CDU coming in first and the AfD coming in second, that the natural coalition that would emerge from that would be a nationalist right government, the CDU joining forces with the AfD. But no, the leader of the CDU, Friedrich Merz, declared that there was no way he would ever work with the AfD, precisely because the bullies in Brussels, the EU, hate the AfD, since the AfD is all about national sovereignty, border security, mass deportations, making Germany great again. And so Merz, being a lapdog for the European establishment, has deliberately shut out the AfD from power. And he did that by deciding to coalition, I kid you not, with the SPD, the Social Democrats, who were actually just voted out of power. You can't make this stuff up. The CDU, a supposedly center-right political party, not only formed a coalition with the center-left, their version of the Democrats, but in doing so, they formed a coalition, a ruling coalition, a governing coalition with the very party that was just voted out of power. Also, they could permanently box out the AfD from governance. So this is all part of what's called the firewall, the German firewall. It's a deliberate attempt by all the political parties in Germany, including all the woke far-left parties, to deliberately box out of power the AfD from ever assuming any kind of governance there. So, which they effectively did. They completely disenfranchised Eastern Germans who voted overwhelmingly for the AfD, and they formed what is in effect a uniparty coalition, a pro-establishment coalition between the center-right and the center-left. And so how do you think voters reacted to that? How do you think Germans responded to the CDU putting the SPD, their Social Democrats, back into power after they were resoundingly, summarily rejected by German voters? Well, to the shock of the establishment, this is how they're reacting. The latest polls just came out, and the AfD, to the horror of both the German political establishment and the bullies in Brussels, the EU, the AfD has now officially surpassed the CDU as the number one most popular party in the entire nation. According to Forza polling, the AfD is clocking in now at 26% support, while the CDU has fallen to just 24%. And it's not just Forza. Ipsos has the AfD also in first place with 25%, and the CDU also at 24%. Now, you have to understand, this is absolutely unprecedented, historically speaking. We haven't seen anything like this in German politics for over 70 years. A third party breaking through and surpassing Germany's most successful post-war political party, the CDU, which is basically their version of the Tories. I mean, it's not just a third party that surpassed them. You have to get this. Again, the CDU has been politically dominant in German politics for basically 7 decades. And they just got surpassed not just by a third party, but a total like MAGA, Make Germany Great Again party that has the full support of the likes of Trump and Elon and JD. But the establishment wasn't going to simply roll over and allow the AfD to assume its rightful place as the most popular party in Germany. No. The corrupt German establishment was not going to go down without a fight. And it's what they did next that's the most shocking of all. But first, gang, what do you think you could do if you had the same insider trading information that Nancy Pelosi has, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Politicians like Pelosi have had access to insider trading secrets for decades now. They know exactly what stocks to buy and when to buy them. But guess what? You and I actually have access to that very same inside information. Thanks to a little-known SEC database, we can see what and when corporate CEOs are buying up in real time, and then we get to piggyback on their trades to gain the same advantage for ourselves. So, gang, that is why you have got to click on that link below right now and sign up for a free online training with me and my good friend Ross Givens. It's this Thursday, May 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern. Ross is an insider trading expert whose recommendations have led to investment returns of over 200%. Some have hit as high as nearly 1,500%. It's going to be an absolutely amazing free training where you and I can learn how to trade with the exact same insider knowledge as these politicians, but legally and ethically. But don't wait. Seating registration is limited, so click on that link below right now and register today, and I'll see you for an event that promises to be an absolute game changer for your life. Germany's domestic intelligence agency, the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution, has just officially classified the AfD, the Alternative for Germany party, as a right-wing extremist organization at the national level and therefore a threat to the German Constitution. In a 1,000-page report, 1,000 pages, German intelligence concluded that the AfD promotes an ethnically defined notion of the populace, discriminates against entire demographic groups, and exhibits racist and anti-Muslim tendencies. The agency determined that these positions contradict Germany's constitutional principles of human dignity and equal participation in society. Now, the key to this legal classification is that it enables German authorities to actually increase surveillance of the AfD and its political activities, its fundraising efforts. And that surveillance even includes the use of informants and monitoring of communications. Now, of course, for their part, the AfD leaders are not taking this decision lying down. They're suing Germany's domestic intelligence agency, claiming that the extremist label is obviously politically motivated and aims to delegitimize and suppress opposition voices. In other words, the supposedly anti-democratic AfD is suing the German government for its radically anti-democracy efforts against the AfD. In the name of democracy, the German government is basically banning it. Now, while all of this has been playing out, Friedrich Merz, for his part, he's basically been busy backtracking on all his campaign promises. It probably won't surprise you, given the surge in nationalist populism around the world, that Merz and the CDU basically stole the AfD's political platform. He sounded a lot like the AfD on the campaign trail, promising what he called a migration crackdown on his first day as chancellor. He repeatedly pledged to secure the German border and called for permanent border controls and a crackdown on illegal migration, including a de facto entry ban for those without valid documents. But literally, since the day after his win, he came out and basically renounced all those pledges and promises. Within just hours after Election Day, there were reports that CDU negotiators were already revising their plans to reject large numbers of asylum seekers at the border. And to make matters even worse, Merz actually put the green initiatives and environmental policies right back into the hands of the Social Democrats who he's coalitioning with. And those Social Democrats are the ones who originally implemented draconian green measures that the German population just voted resoundingly against. So needless to say that with all of these factors coalescing together, as of today at the Bundestag, the German parliament, when it came time for Merz to be voted in as chancellor, as the German parliament has done for every other chancellor-elect since World War II, he and his supporters were shocked to find out, for the first time in post-war history, he didn't have the votes. He hasn't even assumed office yet, and he's already the most unpopular chancellor in German history. Now, he's got 2 weeks to try to repair the damage, as it were. There will be another vote. In the meantime, Alice Weidel, the leader of the AfD, is demanding new elections. Certainly, if they don't vote for Merz as chancellor in 2 weeks, it looks like everything will have completely fallen apart, and they will have to hold snap elections. But Weidel is in effect saying there's no point in waiting. This was a political humiliation unlike anything we have seen in 70 years in Berlin. And the people obviously feel very betrayed by this CDU-led government. And the fact that the coalition is already breaking down before it even begins is proof that it's simply not politically viable. And therefore, we should hold a new round of elections. Were they to do that, were they to hold a new round of national elections, all the polls show the AfD would win. The AfD would win. They would, in fact, come in first place, and they would be in the position of being able to try to form a government. It's an absolutely extraordinary development, and it continues to be a tectonic shift in European politics. If Germany falls to the civilizationalist populists, especially after Brexit and the exit of the UK, with Italy, Germany, and then possibly France, with National Rally being the number one party and Bardella looking to be the next president. I mean, the European Union is basically over. It's dead. A civilizationalism which has already taken over much of the world will have officially triumphed over the last bastion of globalism on the earth. Hey there, Turley Talker. You know what? I'd love to hear from you. That's why I'm launching the Dr. Steve Hotline, where you can call in, leave a question, and maybe even hear your own voice featured on an upcoming episode of the show. Whether it's about the latest political shakeup or cultural trends or how we keep pushing forward in this new conservative age, I want to know what's on your mind. Call me at 717-844-5984. Just leave your question. I'll be checking in every single week to answer as many as I can. Again, that's 717-844-5984. Your chance to be a part of the conversation. One more time, 717-844-5984. Give me a call and let's talk.